between you and Tyson Fury. Igor Klima said on the Boxing News interview that he's hearing maybe things are not great between you guys. Is that just rumours? What is that?
Is this Igor Klima who said that Tyson had cut his eye on purpose? Next.
Just Frank on that though, how disappointing was that news for you guys to deal with so close to fight week?
It was pretty awful, but look, that's boxing. This fight, main event tonight, is a fight that was postponed because once somebody got injured. Last week, Buatsi and Aziz was a postponed fight from last year. That's boxing. That's what they're in. These guys are sparring. Somebody's throwing shots. Things happen.
We saw there were reports that had come out about Filip Ergovic may have stepped in case of Tyson Fury pulling out to face Alexander Usyk on the 17th. Did that ever go in?
There's a contract that has an injury clause in it. But all you don't say you, media, because some of the people are guilty of it. Some of the bollocks they come out with is just beyond me.
And just final one from me, Frank. I spoke to Craig Richards earlier in the week. He said there had been talks about a potential fight with Anthony Yard. Has there been anything on that front?
There has been talks, and that's the fight we want to make.
Craig Richards, head of...
sorry, not Craig Richards. Where are you getting that from? No.
Craig Richards, Shane McGuigan...
Sorry. No. The fight we want is the fight that everybody wants to see, which is Yard and Buatsi. They both want it, we want it, and that's what we're going to make happen.
Can I ask you quickly, Krasik made the suggestion that the cut didn't happen during the time of the filming of that spar. What's your response to that?
They're a pair of pricks. How about that? That's what they are. To keep going on about this is just beyond ridiculous. And it's feeding all... And I've got to say something. Do you know what? All the idiots who listen to this, because that's what they are, moronic idiots, to think Tyson, who's getting paid all this money, would do that. Planet is everybody on here.
Where do you think it comes from?
Where do I think it comes from? Idiots. But you know why? The idiots feed idiots. And all they do, they've been from day one. Do you remember going back last year? Oh, Tyson's pulling out the fight. Tyson doesn't want to fight his man. Keeps asking, greedy big belly and all that bullshit. All the way through. And so many people, including that idiot Adam Cattrall, picked up on that and made their decision. And yet when I confront Alex Crassus face to face in front of a camera and said all that to him, he sat there and just looked down because he knew it was rubbish. And they just keep peddling this bullshit to people who want to listen to it. And, I'm not saying they're haters or whatever they are. That's the world we live in at the moment. And anybody with a quarter of a brain will know that the fight is on. It's on May the 18th. These guys are fighting, and that's the end of it.
They're a pair of pricks. That's what they are, a pair of pricks. This bullshit. Idiots feeding and peddling to idiots. I love it. Those are the words of Frank Warren as he, mini erupts, kind of blows a gasket and a half, not two, but gasket and a half, when hearing about the cut and this and that, the other. And motion creates emotion. I think certain things trigger certain people, and we definitely can see a trigger from Frank Warren, okay? And you can tell that he was livid. He got pissed quick when he started hearing about that cut. You know what I mean? And he put all that greedy belly and that stuff in like that because, the fight was just seeming like impossible to make, and we just couldn't figure out why. And it just only aggravates the whole situation further when you have the fight still postponed, and him calling them pricks like, hey, when I did confront them, he did. And I do remember that confrontation. You had Usyk, you had Warren, you had Usyk, you had Fury, and you had them all there. And they were talking about, well, hey, who the hell was the reason behind this, that, and the other for that fight not happening, and who pulled out of the negotiations. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? And it wasn't really as concrete as it was. Now, the thing is, now what we're going to look for is when Frank Warren, pissed off if he is, because he ain't going to forget this interview. This interview's documented. Shout out to Seconds Out for making this interview. You know what I mean? And they were coming at Frank hard because they have to know, and we need to follow through with certain things. We need to see how people feel. And Frank let us know how he felt about the potential cut wasn't made. You know, and here's the theory here, people, from the idiot. You know, idiots are idiots of idiots or whatever. Why do you think Frank got so mad? I mean, he got pissed. You could already tell he was kind of annoyed before, but he got pissed. I mean, pissed when he heard that cut wasn't in sparring. You know what I mean? Maybe, just maybe, that there's some truth to that. And the idea of entertaining it, you know, will not be tolerated. That's why he didn't, and he shut that down in the way he did, because he didn't want people believing that, because that actually might be believable, that shit didn't happen in that clip, that clip that they sent us, that they provided for us. That shit was made by whoever recorded it. Okay? Those are the questions that should be asking. Well, who the hell recorded that? That's a question I would ask. Right off jump. Who recorded that? And what did they record it on? That would be the questions that I would ask. I wouldn't ask questions like, you know what, hey, you know, I don't think it was. Well, oh, you know, you got the unedited and unclipped clip of that particular video so we can take a look at it. When did you start it? Versus when did you really end it? Versus when did you care to start it or clip that video at the beginning? And where did you decide to clip it at the end? That's what I would ask. Okay, because those are very good questions. Because it didn't look convincing. You have to convince people, you know, convince them that this was where it's at and this is how it happened and we're showing you there or that. So show us something else. See, I'm okay with the cut, but then I'm not convinced that cut was made at that time either. You know what I mean? Because even the guy, Mr. What's his name? Argon Smakisi? Argon Smakisi said, well, hey, that was a punch. So, you know, I don't even know if he knew what that was. You know what I mean? So I don't think the right questions were asked. Like, hey, did that happen in that sequence? That would be the question that I would ask Agron, because that's important, you know? Because if he tells us, no, I don't think that was the time, that means they have other footage when that actually happened. He ain't saying it didn't happen. He's not saying that he wasn't cut. But he never said that he was cut at that particular time when that video was filmed. That 1998 RCA special. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Frank Warren getting livid on the question that was asked, that cut was not made in that video that they sent in sparring. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!